Hi friend, I've got a quick video for you today where I discuss the music industry's obsession with loudness and the effect it's having on the overall quality of music on streaming platforms and releases in general. As always, I love hearing from you and want to know your thoughts on how loudness is affecting your production. Let me know in the comment section below if you use any techniques I've missed for creating loudness in your finished tracks and how you use meters in your production. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so that my videos will reach other musicians looking for this content. And feel free to share it with that special someone you know who will appreciate the info shared here on my channel. And if you like this and want even more great tips on how to transform your musical ideas into complete professional sounding songs, head to my website, electronicmusictips.com, using the link below, and pick up my free 6-step guide on how I create a song from start to finish that's full of amazing tutorials and production tips. Now, on with the video. Do you ever find yourself turning down the volume on your favorite songs because they're just too damn loud? Well, you're not alone. The music industry has been in a loudness war with commercial radio for decades, and it's time to understand why. At first, the goal was simple. Make your music sound as loud as possible on the radio. With so many songs competing for airtime, producers wanted their tracks to stand out. But as technology advanced, so did the techniques for making music louder. Suddenly, it wasn't just about standing out on the radio, it was about being the loudest track on the album. And that's where things really got out of hand. The result? Music that's so compressed and distorted, it loses its dynamics and becomes fatiguing to listen to. But why did the music industry sound like the radio in the first place? Let's dive in. Acoustics, or loudness, determines how loud sounds are perceived by humans. When the intensity is relatively small, the noise is muted, and when it's too high, it's painful and dangerous to the ears. The sound intensity that the ear can tolerate is approximately 1,012 times greater than the amount that's barely audible, and the frequency of the sound differs from person to person. Radio engineers have been in a never-ending pursuit of loudness, driven by the competition to be number one on the airwaves. They use various equipment to make audio recordings as loud as possible, from compressors to limiters to equalizers. The goal is to make their music stand out among the sea of songs vying for airtime. However, this pursuit of loudness has led to a real problem. Music has become so compressed and distorted, it loses its dynamics, resulting in a fatiguing listening experience. Despite this, the music industry continues to push for loudness, emulating the sounds of radio. This pursuit is centered around technological advancements and competition, with engineers always striving to make their music the loudest and most attention-grabbing. This pursuit of loudness has resulted in a backlash from fans who value clarity and dynamics over absolute volume. The loudness war has also reduced the quality of recordings in favor of a competition to be the loudest. The techniques for mixing and mastering tracks has come under scrutiny due to the way commercial music is being released. The pursuit to establish a competitive edge inspired labels to focus on greater loudness at any cost, reducing the value and clarity along the way. This has led music producers to create tracks that lack emotion and are static. Their music is being overcompressed to stand out among other songs, but this is leading to a decrease in audio quality. Artists can solve this problem by making their music stand out with its sound quality and dynamic range. It's difficult to deny that the loudness war has had a negative impact on the music industry. There's now a growing movement advocating for a return to solid, stable mastering practices that favor clarity and quality over sheer volume. As well as being better for listeners' ears, this approach would allow for increased creativity and control over the final product. Magnetic tape and digital media are limited in the range of signal levels they can handle before introducing distortion. In the analog world, radio engineers use a volume unit meter, or VU meter, to measure the voltage of audio levels, which are displayed in decibels milliwatts. The zero that appears on the right side of the meter references 0 decibels, the point where the audio signal measures 1 milliwatt. This is the point that audio starts to distort when using analog gear, and the distortion appears gradually above 0 decibels, intensifying until clipping occurs. Going above 0 decibels is a common practice in analog studios where distortion is created by overdriving the equipment and tape. This can add pleasing harmonic tones during recording and is emulated today with many saturation plugins. The VU meter can't display peak levels like modern digital meters. This means that while the meter reads 0 decibels, the audio signal could be peaking much higher, resulting in clipping, distortion, and saturation. Despite these limitations, the VU meter is still very useful for measuring average levels and preventing signal overloads during mixing. One measure to describe the dynamic behavior of a recorded music piece is the Crest Factor. The Crest Factor can be defined as the difference between the root mean square, or RMS level, and the peak level throughout the song. It measures the amplitude of the emerging peaks in the audio stream. More compression generally results in a lower Crest Factor, making it a good marker for the amount of compression applied to the music. A good handling of the Crest Factor is considered by some professionals as the cornerstone of successful mastering. The music also tends to be louder when the Crest Factor is lower. An audio signal is perfect in digital recording until you reach 0 decibels, where unwanted clipping occurs that can ruin the audio signal completely. For this reason, a peak indicating meter is still necessary to measure the maximum fluctuations of a waveform during recording and mixing to avoid clipping. Set the level on the arm track so that the incoming audio peaks at -12 decibels, leaving lots of headroom for effects processing and balancing. Later, an RMS meter can be added to the master bus to monitor average levels during mixing and mastering. Remember, these meters are a visual guide, and any mix decisions should be made with your ears first. The tools we use evolve as the music we create continue to evolve. A new meter called the LUFS meter has gained popularity in recent years, especially in radio broadcasting. The music industry has adopted the LUFS meter for mastering, and some engineers have made the switch to it exclusively, while others have continued to use the RMS meter. Either meter is acceptable because it's not the tools we use that make great music, it's how we use them. While it's tempting to focus solely on loudness, it's important to remember that a balanced and enjoyable listening experience should be the ultimate goal. Now, there's a ton of varied discussion on what level to master at, and everyone from professionals to social media commenters offer different opinions. Streaming services will normalize your track to -14 LUFS, so there's nothing to gain by releasing a song or album above this benchmark. A balance between maintaining dynamics and transients versus loudness should be carefully considered. During my final mix, I aim for the RMS meter on my master bus to display at -20 to -16 RMS at 6 decibels. This allows for enough headroom to balance the tracks evenly, providing clarity and energy, and also leaves enough headroom for mastering. When mastering for streaming releases, I'll aim for -14 LUFS and get as close to 0 decibels on the peak meter. I'll master non-streaming songs a little bit louder. The meter reading can be in the range of -8 to -6 RMS, with the master bus peak meter showing as close to 0 decibels as you can get it. This is equal to -9 LUFS if you prefer to use this type of meter. This technique is used for DJ-friendly releases and is designed to be heard in loud environments and should not be used as a streaming master. Keep in mind, the level that you decide to mix and master at is song dependent and is not a one-size-fits-all approach. This method allows you to give each song its own feel and tailor the mix to the context and material of the song. As a lover of recorded music, it saddens me to see the effects that the Loudness War has had on our listening experience. I'm sure some of my favorite songs have been stripped of their emotional impact and beauty in the pursuit of being the loudest. As the music industry continues to push for loudness, it damages the subtleties and the nuances that makes music really great. There is also a risk of people's health being affected by loud sounds. Loud and prolonged sounds have been shown to cause the following conditions: hearing impairment, hypertension, sleep disturbance, annoyance, ischemic heart disease, and complications associated with decreased blood flow to the heart. Birth defects and possible immune deficiencies are also contagious complications. There is evidence that road noise constricts arteries and increases blood pressure. There is also the possibility of heart attacks. A noise level above 50 decibels at night increases cortisol production, which causes arteries to constrict and increases blood pressure. Studies have shown the effect of high levels of noise on our well-being and should be taken seriously. So let's ask ourselves, what effect has the Loudness War had on our music production? Are we sacrificing quality and emotion for the sake of being the loudest? It's important to mix our music to the level that feels appropriate for the production, rather than chasing the illusion of loudness. It's time for us to take a step back and reconsider our approach to music production. Instead of striving for loudness at all costs, let's focus on creating a balanced and dynamic mix that truly showcases the beauty of each element. By using the right tools and techniques, we can achieve professional sounding production that shines without sacrificing quality or emotion. Well, I hope you enjoyed this and found it super helpful. Don't forget to leave a comment and let me know if you're focused on how loud your song is and what you do to get your track to sound loud. And don't forget to head to my website, electronicmusictips.com, using the link below to get my free 6-step guide and other great free resources. Bye for now, friend.